Hey everyone, Bill Sheridan here. By now, we all know Simon Sinek's mantra, right? People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. That was the centerpiece of his best selling book, Start With Why, also that widely popular TED Talk, which has been viewed about 13 million times. I think it's the second most widely viewed TED Talk ever. Well, he's back now. He has a new book coming out. It's called Leaders Eat Last: Why Some Teams Pull Together and Others Don't. And he has a new message. He says, your why, it won't really matter unless you take care of your own team. Simon keynoted the AICPA's Digital CPA conference recently, and while he was there, he put it this way. He says, your clients and customers will never love you unless you love your employees first. Pretty powerful message. I had the privilege of sitting down with him after his keynote, and I asked him what he means by that. Here's Simon Sinek.
You said that in an era of commoditization, when our services have really become readily available, kind of lose their perceived value, that the ace in the hole really for CPAs is trust and building human bonds with clients, building loyalty and friendship and real human relationships. So tell me why these things are so important today. What's different about today's business environment that makes this type of thing so important?
Well, what's fascinating about the idea of sort of trust as a value proposition is it's not new. It's thousands of years old. It's always been important. The difference today is we operate at scale that's unprecedented. And not only do we operate at unprecedented scale, we use technologies that physically separate us. And those separations affect the relationships that we build. In other words, telecommuters and people who don't come to work with everybody else, they struggle to maintain the same relationships as everybody else. They feel like outsiders. It doesn't matter how many emails they send or how many conference calls they have. It's the reason the video conference will never replace a business trip. There's intense biological and anthropological value in getting to know someone, spending time with them, and earning their trust. And there is no app that can replace that, and there's no advanced technology that can replace that. We are legacy machines. The human being is a 50,000-year-old animal, and we haven't changed at all. Just the world around us has changed. And so to think we can trick it is only to our detriment, and often to the detriment of the company.
So what is, if this is, well, let me ask this question. Are we talking about a fundamentally kind of different business model here than what we are traditionally used to? Well, I think most business models you look at, it's like, okay, produce something, sell it, make a profit, repeat. Is this a new era, kind of a new business model?
Well, by new, if you mean reversing the model from sort of, you could argue that it's become really bad in the past generation. But I mean, it's sort of since agriculture and industrialization, it's not so much a new business model as it's a return to how things should be. In other words, the best businesses, the most innovative organizations, the ones that seem to have an unbalanced ability to succeed over time, are the ones that put people before numbers. The ones that may have short-term spikes but long-term struggles are the ones that put numbers before people. And so if we claim to be doing the right thing for our shareholders, if we claim to be doing the right things for our investors, if we claim to be doing the right thing for our customers, even our employers, sometimes even ourselves, then there is no option than to prioritize the life of a human being over the intangible nature of a number.
What's the, I don't know if first step is the phrase that I'm looking for, but what should businesses be doing in order to make sure that they are, forging those relationships, both with their clients and internally too with their employees? What do we need?
Well, there's a decision to be made, right? This is what leadership is. Leadership is the choice to put the care of a human being before anything else. This is a parent. We expect a parent to put the care of their child before their care of their car. You wouldn't get rid of your kid so you could afford a more expensive car. It wouldn't happen, right? In fact, we take people to jail for that kind of stuff. Well, this is what leadership is. Leadership is the choice to put the care of someone first. And in a world that's filled with unpredictable things and dangerous things and stock markets and competitors coming at us, and and emerging technologies that can put a business out of business overnight. The only variable, those things are constants. The only variable is the manner in which we treat the people inside our organization, and our ability to create a circle of safety around our people so that they feel like they belong and they know that the leaders would put them before the numbers and never put the numbers before them. Then the result is they will work tirelessly, commit their blood, sweat, and tears to see that leader's vision advance. And again, that's just the way it works. These are biological and anthropological constants, and there is no disagreeing. This is not some highfalutin management theory where we can debate the validity of it. This is just how human beings work. This is the function of the human animal. And when you understand the function of the human animal and how we can get the best out of ourselves is when we look after each other. The rest is functional.
And this is something that you mentioned during your talk too. I think the default for a lot of businesses, maybe even certainly CPAs, is to hire for technical competency,
Sure.
right? Make sure that they have the education to do the job. Talk to me a little bit about the importance of hiring for service first and maybe teaching the stuff that they need to learn technically later on.
Both are important. Competence clearly is valuable, but there's an order. Would you rather hire someone who shares your values and you teach them the competency, or do you hire somebody with the competency who doesn't share your values? Mm-hmm. When you put it that way, it's kind of an easy decision, and it's okay. And you don't have to teach them from scratch. Nobody's demanding that you teach people from scratch. You can demand competency, but it's in terms of the priority. What comes first on the list? Do their values come first, or does their competency come first? If you put competency above values, you may have some short-term gains, but by the way, they'll take the next thing that wants them, and But if you put values first, then what you do is you start to create an environment of trust and loyalty and love, and they bring their competency with them. It's very hard. These decisions aren't easy. When you hire somebody who's incredibly competent but you don't believe they share your values, not to hire them. But that is always how the best people tend to work out.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, here we are, and this kind of delves off into a little bit of a tangent here, but I wanted to get your thoughts on this too. We're in an era now where technology is automating mm-hmm. a lot of the data-driven tasks that CPAs have traditionally been tasked with, and we're talking about a profession here that's stereotypically kind of looks at the past, mm-hmm. Looks at historical data and tries to reconcile it. So, where do you think the CPA's value lies mm-hmm. going forward in an era where technology has kind of taken some of the stuff that they've traditionally done and automated it? Where does the value for the profession lie going forward?
Automation is fine for normal, but markets and finance and our lives are unpredictable. And so automation has a finite value. It has a limitation. I was given a tour of the New York Stock Exchange, and I was walking around the floor. And there's not a lot of physical traders anymore because a lot of them have been replaced by computers. A lot of it's automated. And I was talking to one of them, and he was saying to me that their jobs are safe because when something goes wrong, no one wants to use a computer. Everybody looks for a human being to look after their business when something goes wrong, every time. And, he says, computers miss opportunities because you happen to overhear somebody talking about something else and you realize that could offer your value to your client. A computer can only can function with the variables that are put into it, but they miss the human experience. So what he was explaining to me was that the human beings are the most valuable for the extremes. When you're looking for something that you would have missed and you're looking to protect yourself when something goes wrong, automation is fine in the middle. And so the value of a CPA or anybody like that, there are some daily functions that, quite frankly, automation works just fine. But we all want someone there, just in case something goes wrong. We all want to. It's like we don't see our doctors don't have daily value to us. But when we get sick, we're glad we have a doctor. And by the way, that 1 or 2 times a year, that's all that even if it's if it's just sort of for an annual checkup, the 1 or 2 times we see our doctor, their value is literally sealed in 20 minutes for an entire year. 20 minutes of interaction has value for the entire year, not because we need them every day, but we want to know that they're there on the days we need them. So I think any kind of servant industry is the same way.
Simon Sinek, thank you very much.
My pleasure.